You probably clicked on this video because you're wondering what it's like to budget your 60, 70, $80,000 salary, and I'm going to break that down just how you could do that and make it really simple for you. Let's get right into it. So let's start off with the income of $60,000 per year. We're going to assume that you make 60 grand a year. Oops. And taxes are going to be 25%. We don't really know if you're going to live in a state income tax area or not. So I'm going to use 25% as the baseline for all of these. Now, with 25% being the taxes, you're able to take home 45 grand at the end of the year. Break that down into months, you get $3,750. And we're going to use the 50-30-20 method. That's 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards your savings and investments. So with 50% needs, you're going to be looking at a budget of $1,875. Now, the way that I would break that down is into these specific categories here. Now, rent is going to be $1,000. You're going to find a place that's not too expensive, but not too bad, where you're going to have 10,000 roommates and living in the worst conditions ever. So we're going to put $1,000 for rent. Utilities for that, that's your lights, that's your water, that's your gas. We're going to go 100 for that. Groceries, we're going to be kind of lean here. You're going to have to kind of budget for what you're going to spend and really make sure that you're buying as many things as you can and stretching that dollar as far as you can. We're going to go to discount stores like Grocery Outlet and getting utensils and stuff from Dollar Tree. In addition to that, I have a health insurance payment here of $100. And if you make $60,000 per year, let's be honest, you don't need a car payment. You should be buying a beater, a reliable car where you don't have a payment. You want to save up a couple months to make sure that there's no payments on that car. We're going to go 0 here because you shouldn't be driving a nice fancy car that you have payments on in the first place. Then to insure the car that you drive, we're going to put $150 towards car insurance. And additionally to that, we need gas, right? So gas, we're going to put $100. For the phone bill, we're going to look at $50 for the phone bill. I feel like that's pretty standard. You don't need the best wireless connection. You don't need unlimited data. $50 per phone bill is okay. Now, at the end of that, we really want to make sure that we're paying off our debts. That we're going to put $75 into debt payments. And this is that super high interest debt payments that we need to put down. And we can come back to this later. But, this is just how much we want to put down for debt payments in this category. Overall, you're at that 1,875, and that hits you for your 50% needs. Next, going into your wants, that's that 30% category there. That's $1,125. Now, the way I broke this down is I'm breaking it down into $300 for dining out, which is pretty standard. I feel like if you're able to cook a lot, you're able to dine out less. So we're going to stretch our dollars a little bit to cook a little bit more, dine out a little less. Next is entertainment. I really kind of envision this entertainment category to be subscriptions like Spotify, maybe YouTube Premium, Apple TV, Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu. And all those subscriptions could kind of round you about $50 a month. You can watch ads on Netflix for cheaper, okay? So don't come here and ask me why it's only 50, but the entertainment category, we're keeping at 50. You can watch movies elsewhere. So, shopping, we're going to go $200. That's buying our clothes, buying our shoes, $200. And travel, I feel like everybody should have a budget for travel because, the money comes back, but our experiences never come back. And you can always get that back money later. You just got to see the world. You got to go out there. You got to make something to live for. And I think travel is one of the best ways to do that. We're going to put $225 a month in travel per year. That brings us to about $2,700 in a yearly travel budget. So maybe you take one vacation a year, $2,700. You can do a lot with that money. You can take an all-inclusive cruise, maybe 2 of them, maybe 3 of them. But you might want to do a road trip here and there. So just taking all those to account, $2,700 for the year, assuming that is that $225 budget here. Gym and fitness, I'm going to put $50. Not everybody has to go to a fancy gym. And even if you want to cut this down to 0, you go do outside workouts, you go do home workouts, and I feel like you can cut that down there. However, some people like the amenities. Some people like being able to go to a place to lift weights. And all power to you. I'm going to put $50 there. Fun money. Now, fun money is really what we desire for ourselves. If I want to buy Pokemon cards at $60,000 salary, I'm going to put $300 per month into fun money, and that's my $300 a month for Pokemon cards. Whatever you want it to be, that's all your problems and that's all your issues. But overall, that would bring us to $1,125 at the end of the month. Next, we're going to go into this 20% category. Now, at the end of the month, we're going to spend $750. And the way that we're going to break that down is $300 into 401k, $200 into Roth IRA, $150 to emergency funds, and extra debts that you might want to pay off if you have any, $100. That brings you to $750. You annualize this over the year, you can really see how much you're putting away. You put about $9,000 away into just your savings and investments. But if you were to take out those extra debt payments and you were to, put it towards other things, you could save extra there. Now that's just a $60,000 salary. Let's go into $70,000 and see how much that can really change there. $70,000 salary, we're going to see a lot of differences here. Your 25% taxes we're going to use is about 17 grand. Your take home is about 52 grand and your monthly take home is 4.3. Now, using a needs of 50%, we're going to see 2188. That's going to be our needs. The way I broke that down is you're going to still be living in that same place. You're going to be living with $1,000 in rent. Utilities is going to cost the same. Groceries, we're going to upscale that. We're going to actually buy more groceries. And you can actually buy more nice things like organic foods or just a nicer option to have. And you don't need to go to those discount stores anymore. Health insurance, we're going to keep the same at 100. Car payment, you really shouldn't be buying any cars that you can't afford. I want you guys to buy the beaters, the reliable Prius from 2007. That's all we need. We don't need a really nice car. I'm going to repeat that again. You don't need it. Insurance for that car, 150. Gas, 100, keeping the same. Phone bill, keeping the same at $50. Now, the only other thing that I will change here is that debt payment. That debt payment, if you have debts and you have high interest debt above 7%, you really want to pay those down as much as you can. $188 towards those debt payments if we have any. So I'm going to assume that this individual might have some. And that brings us to our $2188 per eye needs, that 50% needs we got there. Now, moving into the wants, that's 30%. That's 1313 for our wants that we get to spend for the month. Dining out, I'm going to say we're going to be able to dine out a little more, that bringing that budget to $400. And just going out to a restaurant with nice friends, you're able to do that. You're able to do that more at least. So entertainment, keeping that the same at 50. Shopping, you're able to spend $200 on shopping. And travel, we're going to keep it the same because I think you can still get a really nice travel vacation with $2,700 a year. Gym and fitness, I'm going to keep that the same at 50. Like I said, you don't need to have that same gym membership every single month. You can go to a nice outdoor workout. Fun money, I'm going to upgrade this to $388. Now, comparing to our $60,000 salary, that fun money was $300. So we're bringing it up by $88. That $88 can get you things that you want. If you want a new phone case, if you want a new book, if you want a new piece of thing to look at, like a Pokemon card, go ahead, all power to you. That's a 1313 for the month for our wants. Now, investing and saving, we're going to go 20% still. That's $875 for the month. And what's really going to be different here is everything's the same, $300, $401k, $100 in extra debt payments. But really what's different is this Roth IRA and emergency fund here. I feel like these are the categories we really want to focus down on because you really want to make sure that you have that emergency fund built. And once you have that built, you're able to focus on investing more. But regardless, we're going to put $213 for emergency fund. But the Roth IRA, we're going to go to $262. That brings you to about $10,500 in annualized saving and investing here. And overall, you can see it's a little different, but not that much of a lifestyle difference than $60,000. Coming into $80,000 per year for that budget, you're really going to see the differences here and how much your life can change by just having $20,000 more. Maybe it's a lot, maybe it's a little, but for here, we're going to map that out and see what it looks like. So 25% in taxes, about 20 grand. You're able to take home 60 grand at the end of the year. And per month, that's about $5,000 that you can actually take home and use for yourself. 50% of that gonna go to needs. We're gonna spend $2,500 on needs. Your rent, I'm gonna say you're able to get a nicer place, spending $1,200 more. Utilities, you're gonna keep the same. I feel like at that point, utilities shouldn't change too much. You're just able to get a nicer area, maybe live in a better place, maybe live with one less roommate. That's all the life differences there. And that's important to a lot of people, living by yourself, living with one less roommate, and having that functionality. Groceries. We're gonna upscale our groceries to 612. We can actually buy the steaks, we can buy the salmon fillets, we can get the nicer things in life and still have a home cooked meal and still meal prep for ourselves. You're able to get more organic things, and you're able to just live better. Everything else is still standard. Health insurance 100, car payment 0. You shouldn't be driving a nice car. Car insurance 150, gas 100, phone bill 50, debt payments 188. If you have the high interest debt above 7%, you really want to pay that off, like I said before. Total needs, you're still at 2,500. Moving on to wants. Now, what are the wants here? We're able to spend 1,500 on wants. You're dining out. I feel like it should be the same because you shouldn't build a, habit to go out and eat as much as you should. We could be cooking better foods and just enjoy cooking more. Though that's interchangeable, right? You can dine out more if you're able to cut back on groceries and just make sure that you're spending accordingly. Entertainment, keep it at $50 per month. Your subscriptions shouldn't be more than that. Shopping, $200. Buy new clothes, buy gifts for people, $200. Travel, I think this is the number one thing that's going to move the needle. I feel like everybody should allocate more if you're making more towards travel. I'm going to put $412 here. And that's really the only difference from $80,000 versus the $70,000 budget here, because you're able to save $4,940 here for the year, and that's going to give you a way better vacation. You're able to fly to Europe, to Asia, and live there for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks if you really wanted to. It's really all the difference in the travel budget vacations that you can have, because the more you have, the more you can spend on vacation, and that's all that matters. It's the finer things in life we got to live for. You got to go see the world, you got to go experience it, and that's what it's about. Gym and fitness, 50. And fun money, we're going to keep at $388. You shouldn't change your lifestyle too much. Overall wants, $1,500. Now, saving and investing, we're going to have $1,000 budget here. 401k should be $300. Roth IRA, we're going to go $350. Emergency fund, $250. And extra debt, $100. That brings you to about an annualized investing and savings rate of $12,000. What is $12,000? Like in percentage wise, that's 15% of your income. Now, 15% of your income going just towards saving and investing, it's really good. So I really hope that you see the weight of how much you make in relation to how much you're able to spend and budget for that month and for that year. You can really see that $60,000 is a way different lifestyle than $80,000 here. But from $70,000 to $80,000, there's not that much of a marginal difference. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video using the 50-30-20 rule, and let me know how you guys would budget the $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 salaries. Put a comment down below to let me know what you guys would have done differently with the budgets here and the salaries that we have here. Thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.